Did you know that German and English are genetically related? And did you know that German and Russian have got more in common than one might think at first sight? How come? Isn't Russian a Slavic language? Yep, that's correct. However, all three languages, English, German and Russian, belong to the same Indo-European language family, even though English and German belong to the West Germanic branch and Russian to the Slavic one. But these languages do share certain patterns. And in today's episode, we are going to be contrasting some of the features that all three languages have in common. To be more specific, the noun case systems, because each of the languages has got a certain case system in place. I know it sounds like an unrealistic undertaking, but you know what? Life is too short to not try things out. So, hold on tight and let's go! Just a side note, I am at the cosmetics review league, so do not be surprised to encounter quite many cosmetics, flyers, machinery. So yeah, and also today is October the 3rd. I'm filming this video and it's the last day of the Oktoberfest. So I'm sorry you won't see this video until much later because I've got to edit it and upload it and it takes me ages normally. But you've had time because I did make an announcement like in my last video telling you to not miss out on the Oktoberfest in case you are around in Munich. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get started. Oh, by the way, I'm having some green tea, gunpowder, it's called gunpowder. Tschüss! Всем привет! Hallo, zusammen! Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anastasia and I make videos about anything and everything language-wise. So we've been looking into the field of morphology, to be more specific into its first component, word formation, by means of prefixation and by means of suffixation. Superficially, goes without saying, but we have, right? So what we have skipped so far is its second component, which is called inflection, aka the inflection and morphology. If you go to take a brief look at this diagram, you will see that word formation and inflection constitute the field of morphology, and the inflection and morphology is what interests us today. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty, just a super quick history lesson, how it's all come about. Once upon a time, English used to be an inflectional language, which means that a lot of grammatical information was conveyed by means of bound morphemes, aka affixes, which are attached to the base. I'm speaking about Old English here, but Old English was succeeded by Middle English, which then was followed by the early modern English, and here we go, the present-day English has lost almost all of the inflectional morphemes that Old English used to have. And so what's remained are merely 8 inflectional morphemes, which are used in 3 categories in modern English. So we've got the declension of nouns, Deklination of Deutsch, склонение по-русски. We've got the conjugation of verbs, Konjugation of Deutsch, спряжение по-русски. And we also have comparison of adjectives. This diagram nicely sums up the functions that the remaining 8 inflection morphemes in modern day English have. So the English noun can take up to 2 word forms. We've got the plural suffix s and the suffix s that marks the possessive case or the genitive s. Then the English verb can take up to 4 word forms. We've got the third person singular, present, s suffix, then the simple past ed suffix, the present participle in suffix, and the past participle ed suffix. And the English adjective can take up to 2 word forms. We've got the comparative er suffix and the superlative ist suffix. Because because it merely has 8 inflectional morphemes. One lexeme in English has got very few word forms. As a consequence, English has become a strongly analytic language, which means that grammatical information is conveyed through large sequences of free morphemes, which means that in turn the word order in English is quite strict and fixed, or rather inflexible. Its counterparts, Russian and German, are, on the other hand, highly synthetic languages. This means that grammatical information is conveyed by means of inflectional morphemes. As I've announced already, we are going to be focusing on the noun cases or case systems because Old English used to have an elaborate case system, and only 2 cases have survived, being the nominative case or the common case and the genitive case or the possessive case. The German language, for example, has got 4 cases in place. So the nominative case, the genitive case, the dative case and the accusative case. The Russian language is unbeatable in that respect because it has 6 cases, or 6 Kasus, 6 падежей. We've got the nominative case, the genitive case, the dative case, the accusative case, the instrumental case and the prepositional case. More to that in a second. Good news is, in English you don't have to worry about the grammatical gender. Is fork, knife or spoon feminine, masculine or neuter? But there is very much a grammatical gender distinction in German and in Russian. Let's do some cutlery to illustrate what I've just said, shall we? So, we've got der Löffel, ложка. Der Löffel, you've got the article der. Der means masculine. As you can see, the Russian language does not have any articles, which is... However, we do have the case endings, as in ложка, and the case endings can be very cryptic. And in order to crack the code, to decipher the message that underlies a sentence, you've got to learn the case endings. Das Messer, нож. Again, the article das indicates that the noun is neuter, and нож, он мой. So нож is masculine in Russian. Then we've got die Gabel, вилка, она моя. Вилка and die, so the article die, both signify that the noun is feminine. Alright? So we've covered the grammatical gender distinction, which is important because when we move on to the case systems, you will see that the grammatical gender and the cases are inseparable. So, because I love my granny so much, and you might have heard of бабушка, let's do бабушка. Просклоняем бабушку. The nominative case, бабушка. The genitive case, бабушки. The dative case, бабушке. The accusative case, бабушку. The instrumental case, бабушкой. And the prepositional case, бабушке. Don't think that I am super smart. We do have a mnemonic device in place. I've just been retrieving those elements to reproduce what I've just said, you know. Die Oma, which is бабушка or granny in German. The nominative case, die Oma. The genitive case, der Oma. The dative case, der Oma. And the accusative case, die Oma. As you can see, the accusative case and the nominative case are identical because it's a feminine noun. The genitive case and the dative case are identical as well, which is super news, I know, but it's just because it's feminine. It's not the case if the noun is masculine, okay? I am writing a letter to my granny. Ich schreibe einen Brief meiner Oma. Я пишу письмо моей бабушке. I am writing a letter to my granny. There is one inflectional morpheme here, which is present participle in suffix, which is sort of irrelevant for the purposes of today's video because our focus is on nouns and this has something to do with the verbs, right? But just for record, I, subject, am writing verb, a letter, direct object, to my granny, prepositional object. Turning to the German version, we've got Ich schreibe einen Brief meiner Oma. We do have two cases here. Einen Brief is accusative case, meine Oma is dative case, okay? And this is again indicated by means of inflectional morphemes. Here, or in German, we've got the articles. Einen indicates the accusative case for masculine nouns, right? So the noun Brief, in terms of its grammatical gender, is masculine. And meine Oma, meiner is dative. How do I know? Because Oma is feminine and feminine nouns in the dative case take the ending er, right? So far so good. Let's turn to the Russian version, which is Я пишу письмо моей бабушке. So we've got a couple of inflection morphemes here, or let's say cases. So письмо, оно моё. This is the accusative case. Второе склонение, so it's got to be O at the end. And then моей бабушке, so кому is dative case, бабушке, and моей has to agree with бабушке, okay? And this is why it takes the ending ye. So pretty much pre-programmed. This is the good news because, I mean, in order to crack the code, as I've said it already, you've got to learn the cases or the case endings because otherwise you can't connect the dots, and if you can't connect the dots, then you can't decipher the message. Guys, roll up your sleeves, get started, and if you've any questions, do let me know in the comments down below because I would love to hear back from you. And also, I would love to make videos that interest you, so do not hesitate if you have any ideas, suggestions, questions, comments, observations. Leave me a comment and I'll make sure that I'll reply ASAP and that I also accordingly make a video. Alright guys, I am going to love you and leave you because I gotta go. I mean, it's 10:15. I hope that this video has helped you to potentially understand more the underlying structures of the three languages. Even though I know it is a lot to take in, and of course I plan on making more videos where I will dig deeper and go into more detail so that it eventually becomes clear and accessible. Всем пока! Tschüss zusammen! Bye guys! All the best! Stay in touch! Bye! I've had to refilm some elements of this episode because whilst editing the footage, which I filmed on October the 3rd, I've realised that to a large extent the video clips have become blurry, and because you guys are so special to me, I thought no way I can post it on my channel, I've got to do it right. And so here I am, 10 p.m. Cosmetic Studio League again, and I am as excited as I am at 10 a.m.